Hello, my friends. This is the hair episode, and before we get into the actual how to do it and how I do it myself, I want to talk about curly hair, because obviously it's so curly, right? I do have curly hair. In fact, it's 2B, 2C curly hair. If those that are curly girls knowing all about the curl patterns know, you know. But if you don't know what that means, it means my curls are actually about the size of a finger or a marker. They're actually quite tight. But I'm doing a hair video without that curly hair being seen. And this is the video I wish I found when I was learning how to do my hair curly after I fried it and keratined it in 2020. So in 2020, up to 2020, I did keratin treatments on my hair with non-formaldehyde keratin options for many, many years. My husband at the time called it a family expense, and we both loved it. And it was an investment for us, but we both loved what it did to my hair. And I straightened and smoothed my hair from college into, I guess, around that time of 2020 when I fried it by going blonde. And I never really gone with much highlight in my hair. I always was going for a darker color until I decided what would happen if I went blonde. After too much bleach, I really damaged it, and so I needed to do an entire reset. And in the process of resetting and regrowing out all of that damaged hair, I had to then figure out how or whether I would keratin or not in the next stage of this whole hair journey. And in the process of that, because it was after 2020 or around that same time period, I think a lot of curly girls, without access to going to salons and keeping up with things that they might have done, like keratin, during 2020, the lockdown made it harder, and I think it became this amazing enlightenment to the curly hair community. The Curly Girl Method book was out and had already had a strong following, but then there were people and creators creating content around curly hair and how to follow the Curly Girl Method rules and also go beyond those rules as well. So I was kind of coming into the space with fried hair and not sure what I wanted to do. Was I going to stay on the keratin treatment path? Was I going to stay on the smooth path, or was I going to embrace my curls as they naturally were and as they once were my entire childhood, or would I keep going? I was lost. There was so much division, device, and trauma, as I call it in my podcast, emotional beanbags, on the subject of curly hair, even in the creators, but more even than the creators, the community the creators were creating curly hair content for. I like my hair looking smooth. I like my waves. I also like my curls. I like beautiful curls. I like smooth hair that's wavy. I actually don't have a strong opinion that either is the right way. It's like saying I don't think that anything is the only right way. And so yes, I was born and have very straight curly hair naturally, but I don't think it's the only way. And I was so lost in this because the way I started to learn about curly hair was it almost felt like this Bible of if thou shalt go curly, thou shalt never smooth or straighten your hair ever again. And I felt really conflicted and sad about that because there is a part of me that loves this style of hair also. And so I was quite confused and lost because the community itself didn't give me an answer that felt authentic to me. So of course, as I teach in my show, I did the work and I went into myself and I asked my inner voice, and all I got was love your hair. My inner voice said love your hair. And when I knew what it meant, by saying that, what it meant isn't what the curly girls in the community were saying, love your hair exactly as it was when God gave it to you or how you were born with it. It was just saying, whatever you do with your hair, enjoy it. Enjoy what you do with the hair that you have. So yes, I have been born and blessed with curly hair. It is not the only way I need to style my hair or love it. I can love it in all shapes, styles, colors. I could dye it pink as long as I loved it. My inner voice would say, that's a great color. It's not about a wrong or a right or the natural or the damage or all this stuff that I was just finding. And one of the things that gave me hope in the middle of my hair confusion was Oprah. I love Oprah. She inspired me to do the work I do today. And I remember thinking about all these curly girls. I was like, does any of the girls, I couldn't find any creators that were going curly and smooth on a regular basis. Some would occasionally go smooth, but they were definitely predominantly curly. And that's wonderful. That's their alignment for their hair. But it wasn't necessarily going to be mine. And so I remember finding Oprah. I was like, I grew up watching Oprah. And I'm like, she had smooth hair. She had straight hair. She had afro hair. She had all sorts of hair. And I never judged Oprah for being the woman Oprah is based on the texture she was having of her hair and that era of her life or that time of the day that she was in. She was doing it all different ways, and she was never defined as a woman to the way her hair looked. And so the only person I had at the time, the guiding light example for me at the time, was Oprah, but then my inner voice saying love my hair helped me find my own northern light within myself. And I obviously would encourage anyone else to do the same. So yes, you see me here with smooth hair. I love smooth hair. I love my curly hair. However, I do it mostly smooth. I think, as you might know from my work in the podcast, I talk a lot about Bella Vita. It's my imagination land. When no one else is there, no one else is judging, it's just me with me, doing whatever fills me with the most joy. And when I'm there, I have hair that looks pretty similar to this in terms of shape and smoothness and texture. So it makes sense that as I imagine it without anyone else's judgment around me, that I like that look. That's what I love, and that's what brings me joy without anyone else watching. It's the most authentically joy-giving look to me. Of course, now I know that is the most authentic way for me to also express here. I don't always have to do it. I have the prerogative and the ability to change it, just as much as someone that has straight hair might decide to get a perm and curl their hair permanently, which would be kind of the opposite of keratin. We've just been in a society lately that's swung to smoother hair, but it could also go the reverse, and everyone can end up getting perms like they did in the 70s. So there's no right, there's no wrong, there's just what you like and what you love. So now with that, let's go into how I do my hair and how I've found to have healthy hair while doing it smooth and curly, both whenever I choose. All right, so because I predominantly in specifically London do my hair smooth, I want to start with that. Again, also because videos I saw about curly hair didn't talk about the smooth hair part of it, so I want to share. I have healthy hair, however, I do everything, and this is the thing I do think is very helpful, which if you're someone like me that does love doing your hair smooth a lot of time and you have texturally curly hair, I have found it innumerably helpful, and the way to have the path to healthy hair while you do it curly and smooth it is to treat it as curly hair, and then at the end, style how you prefer. So I have a lot of tools and practical things. When I do my hair smooth, it actually is because it's curly hair. So treating your texture as the texture it is, and all the ways I'm gonna explain, and then style at the end, either curly or straight, is the path for me that has worked so well. So let's dive in. So when it comes to curly hair, this is kind of a very quick and dirty curly hair 101 kind of set of tools and stuff like that. I'm not talking about products and ingredients because there are many creators as far as curly hair people go on the internet that know way more than me. However, these are the things that really make a difference in how my texture of my hair is amazing. One is sleeping on a silk pillowcase and using silk scrunchies. This is a classic no-fail way for curly hair girls, whether they're styling it curly or not. I still do this. So I travel. This is my travel silk pillowcase. I have home silk pillowcases. Even if I forgot, I went to Italy and I forgot to bring my silk pillowcase, so I took my silk nightshirt and I just put it on the pillowcase. That's how committed I am to sleeping on silk so that it does not ruffle the texture, even if I have it smooth, which is easier than sleeping on cotton with curly hair texture-wise. It still does ruffle it and it doesn't keep it as smooth. So silk all day long. So the same point, microfiber towels or little turbans when you get out of the shower, super helpful, and again, non-texture irritating to your curly hair. So keeping your texture in mind. Then when it comes to, this is actually interesting. This is not curly or straight. This is, I'm 40 now and I have a little bit of gray. So one thing I do is the L'Oreal hair touch-up. So this is like a brown hairspray that you can put around your root line if you just have a little bit of color that you either is growing out from your roots or you want to cover up some gray. So this is very helpful in a tight pinch. And then also I have this Color Wow, and it is just basically, I bet you could use your own dark brown or blonde or whatever kind of color your hair color is. It's like an eyeshadow palette, but you take this little brush and you dip into the powder, and then afterwards I have little spots right here. A lot of people get thinning, and so I'll just put this powder into this section to just fill in the white space, literally, that is kind of a little bit there. And on the same subject of this, when it comes to hair loss and keeping your hair growth strong. I have 2 other things that I'm doing in the process. Right now I'm doing the Hair Burst chewable hair vitamins. There are many products on the market that have very similar profiles. Nutrafol is one of those brands that I hear a lot about on the social media, and I see a lot of great before and afters, so it could be a great product. I've just been using these because they were easy to find in London, but biotin and other kinds of support type zinc and selenium, that kind of stuff, is something you could try as like a product, a powder, or something you ingest. And then I also do Rehab, and I have to say, I'm absolutely loving Rehab. These are all Rehab hair tools. Rehab is a London-based, a woman-owned business, and I have to say I absolutely love them. This is the matcha scalp oil. It includes Rehab Nourish and Stimulate Your Thin Broken Hair for fuller, healthier looking. It actually has castor oil and rosemary oil in it as well, which is a big thing on the internet right now, so you don't have to use these, but I just use them because they're easy to apply. You just kind of rub them in, and I specifically target the areas where the thinning is. I also love their little brush to get away, fly away. So as I have over the days after I have my hair smoothed, I like to smooth it down. It's kind of like a clear eyebrow gel, but for your hair. And I really like this. It's been great. It's soft and it doesn't look like any product buildup, but it works. It keeps the flyaways down. They also made a hair perfume. Now this is cool. It has infused with rosemary and castor oil to nourish and repair damaged dry ends while gently refreshing with a signature floral scent. So this smells like jasmine and it's so nice. You just spray it on and enjoy the scent, especially because I have this dry, curly hair. I can get a blowout to last a week. My friends are always usually not able to go a full week, but I actually can if I put it up in a silk scrunchie every night in a ponytail, very similar to curly hair methods, and I use a silk pillowcase. And then every morning after it's been smoothed, I just use a little bit of Olaplex bonding oil. I don't know that this is the only oil you could use, but it's been recommended, and I like the molecule size is smaller, so it penetrates the strands a little bit better than some of the thicker, bigger moleculed oils. So when I've actually washed my hair once a week, it is the one time that I really do a lot of deep cleaning. So I use the Kerastase. Now this is where I don't want to get all like, these are the right products to use and these are ingredients to leave. I don't get into that game. It's not my thing. So you could go to another creator for like the best of that. I'm certainly not the best at knowing and knowledgeable in terms of ingredients. I just like this line. I don't even see any curly hair creators that I have ever found back in 2020 when I was looking even talk about it, but this entire Curl Manifesto line by Kerastase has worked so well. And very specifically, and again, I don't know that this is the end all be all product, but as far as having curly hair and having dry hair, I do a wash with my shampoo, and then I put on the mask, and I put this on for an hour. As it's still wet, I put it up in the turban, and then eventually maybe into a bun or something like that, but I leave this on for an hour, and then I rinse it out. After I've rinsed it out, I put conditioner in, and then rinse that out. So this is for moisture, and this is for slip. So slip is like that really nice feeling of like the fingers running through your hair after it's been conditioned. This is what that's for, but this adds that depth of moisture. If I go too many weeks without using this, I will notice that my hair is dry or damaged. And oh my goodness, I forgot my favorite product in the other room. Just a second, let me go get it. All right, I'm back. I've gotten the product. If I could become an influencer for any of these products, I would say this would be the one that I would invest in. This is a Living Proof Triple Bond Complex. I've tried Olaplex, number 3. I've done the K18. K18 is good. So is Olaplex. I think K18 is better than Olaplex personally, but I think this is honestly the best of all of them. This is so nice. It's so much easier than K18 to apply. You don't have to wait the 4 minutes and then you can't put conditioner on. That big faff, because I need moisture so much, is not something I want to deal with. Living Proof is simpler. So about every, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, I will do this in a row, and then I'll skip a week just because I don't think I need it every single time that I wash my hair, but this is something I apply after I've washed it and conditioned it and moisturized it and all that stuff. I'll put a few drops of this on and then style. Now, when I say style, I'm not actually, to be honest, in London styling. I have a dear stylist named Simone who I go to, who literally works an 8-minute walk away from my house, and once a week I go and I have him style my hair. It's a luxury in London that I can do. If I live somewhere else, especially if I lived in Bali, or contextually if I lived in somewhere humid, or even here in London in the rain in this winter, the idea of trying to keep my smooth hair smooth with all the humidity or rain for a tropical place or a very rainy London winter, I don't think it's worth it. Like, the stress of that isn't so much fun. So the alignment time for me is to get it done by Simone once a week when the weather is good. And when it is not, or when I'm traveling somewhere that is hot, humid, or tropical, or when I want the vibe of my curly hair, then I will go the curly hair route and I will style it myself. I now actually feel like I know how to style my hair best when I'm doing it myself curly. So that's what I do when I style myself. And then I also just have the luxury and the joy that I happen to live 8 minutes walk from someone that does my hair really beautifully. He does my color and cut too, but he's just become a good friend. I love supporting him in his business, and I love the fact that he smooths my hair so beautifully. So this is what he applies before he does the styling with the heat protectant as well. Of course, if you're doing curly hair, need to protect your hair with heat protectant. That's just helpful to not to avoid damage. And also, he uses only a blow dryer and a brush. So he's only using round brushes and blow dryer. So that's actually less heat damage than the curling iron. Although you're still, brushing through the hair and everything, I do find that that has not been the worst thing in the world for my hair. And I have very healthy, smooth, shiny, silky, soft hair, which is not what I had when I was doing it myself in the past. So these are the products, and then every morning when I wake up, I take my ponytail out, I put a little bit of this oil in, sometimes I'll spray a little bit of the perfume, and I'm good to go. Actually doing my hair smooth saves me time because I do it once a week, and all I do is add oil in the mornings. I don't have to style much else. So this is easy and actually lower maintenance than doing my hair when I do it curly. All right, so when it comes to doing my hair curly, I am not the world's best curly girl, obviously, because it's not this thing that I do every day for my hair, and I'm sure my hair would be even curlier and tighter and in its more natural curl pattern if I was to really follow all the steps that the other curly hair creators do. But as someone who has very tight curls, and as someone who likes it a little bit looser in the end anyways, when I see the final result, I actually kind of like that my hair is not trained to be as curl potential as possible, though I think so many people look incredible that way. It's just not my preference for my hair. So what I end up doing is very similar to what I just shared. I'll still use all the same curl Kerastase, Curl Manifesto, shampoo, conditioner, and mask. That's a normal thing. If I'm regularly doing my own hair curly, all the products that you add to curly hair to keep it helping keep its shape, every now and then I will do the Way Detox shampoo to just clear and clarify all of the junk out. But again, I would actually go, instead of to me to recommend you guys the curly hair products, I'd find a curly hair girl who has the same texture and curl pattern that you have as close as possible on the internet, and see what she's found to work for her hair and her texture. Curly hair is so different depending on the fineness, the coarseness, and the curl pattern. You really want to find the right thing that's going to work for yours. I have fine hair and very tight curls. So this is what I found is okay, but it may not even be the best thing. But since I do this more rarely than I do smooth, it's not something that I've invested time or too much energy into. I just really like this Curl Manifesto line. So when I do my hair curly, I will rinse out my conditioner, and then I will use my little microfiber towel after that. And then after, I will apply, while it's still pretty wet, this Curl Manifesto Daily Moisturizing Reducing Leave-In Treatment. So I use the leave-in treatment with the Aura-Base Curl Control Silkening Cream. So I use these two in my very, very wet hair, put these through, and I do all the prayer hands and the scrunching that all the curly hair girls talk about, which is super helpful. And then I'll put this curl jelly in, the scrunching jelly. I don't know if this is the best jelly, it's just what I do. And I've learned a lot of tricks of how to apply all of this, but I'll leave that kind of content for the real amazing masters of curly hair, which would be the other girls on the internet. So not really for me, but to teach you how to do all of this stuff. But this is what I use as far as my gel goes. But again, none of these products may be the world's best choice for me. It's just what I do because it works. And then I use a diffuser and my blow dryer, and I will scrunch out the crunch with the oil when I'm done, just like the curly girls would say, and that's pretty much it. At the end of the night, I'll put my hair in the scrunchie, and I'll again sleep on the silk pillowcase, and in the morning I will apply, this is one of the other Curl Manifesto products, it's a second day refreshing spray. So I put a little water and mix this into my hair, get it a little wet. Then sometimes I'll put a little extra scrunching jelly in to just kind of reinvigorate, and then if it's a little bit wet enough, I'll actually re-diffuse using the diffuser again, and then scrunch out the extra gel crunch. And then at times, and I know this is like a cardinal sin of so many curly girls, but I like doing it and I don't have a problem with it. I use them with a heat protectant. I will then use a curling tong or a curling wand curling iron and use on the flattened bits the day 2 or day 3 and kind of add a bit of texture and a bit of a bigger curl pattern that I naturally have. And I personally think it's a really fun look that I like on my hair. So that is it. I basically do whatever each day feels like the highest alignment for me, given the weather, given the circumstances, given whether Simone's in the salon that day, and where my hair's at. So I hope this helps you. I hope that you find a way that you love your hair and you feel empowered to color it whatever color you want to color it, style it however you want to style it, cut it however you want to cut it, shave it if you want to shave it. Don't let anyone else tell you what is right for your hair or wrong for your hair. If you have straight hair and you wish it was curly and you want to get a perm and your inner voice says, great, go for it, do it. Do not let other people on the internet tell you what is the right way. Only you and your inner voice have the clarity of what's most aligning for you, and do not be afraid in the future to change what feels most aligning for you. So now, though I do it mostly smooth because Simone is 8 minutes away, if I ever changed, if I ever moved to Australia, if I ever just decided I prefer the curly hair more than I did smooth, I will change it. But either way, I know that it's my choice and I don't have to worry about making a wrong decision based on what the texture of my hair was when I was born. With that, my friends, I wish I had this video for myself when I was watching in 2020. May something wonderful happen to you today.